We're with Chris Savage.
Yes.
Hi, Chris. Good morning from...
Great to see you guys. It's fantastic weather here in Imperia.
Finally, after 3 days, the last day, it's always the best one. Chris, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
I'm Chris Savage, and I'm first and foremost the tactician on board of Skylark, which is a boat from 1937, designed by a very famous naval architect called Sparkman and Stevens. And we race with a group of our friends. We're not professional sailors, and we try very, very hard, but we have now completed 85 regattas, I think, 270 race days, and we've been lucky to do quite well in some of them.
So apart from racing in Imperia at the Vele d'Epoca, you're also, let's say, networking with the other class associations. Am I right?
That is correct. Several years ago, there was one sponsor, a watch company, which was helping to coordinate all of the racing in the Mediterranean and also in America and Northern Europe, because there's many, many complexities with what goes on with this racing, not just on the water with the boats, but also on the land and how these events are created. And so, for example, in Imperia, this is, I think, probably the most professional organization of regatta, which is an incredible village here that we have, which is wonderful to see. And we're trying to see how we can, by working with all of the owners of the boats, how we can keep the racing going better, the value in the boats, and the enjoyment and the fun for everyone by crossing between countries, creating a global, for example, a global insurance scheme for the boats, partners and things like that, which will help us to improve the racing for the boats. And we want to work with all of the organizations in each country, all of the venues, all of the towns and the mayors and the tourist offices to try to make it a much, much bigger and better activity for everyone.
Is this mainly in the Med, or you also work in the US? Or?
The regatta circuit is in the Med at the moment, but there is many, many boats in classic boats internationally. So we have invited also motorboats, such as the one behind me, Bluebird, which is the flagship of the Vintage Classic Yacht Club. And so we are expanding the club internationally. It is something I have experience of doing before, and we want to include as many different organizations and as many different people and as many different experts as possible in order to share information, to share knowledge, and also, most importantly, to share resources so that we are able to push classic yacht racing for the enjoyment of everyone. Because if nobody does anything, if nobody is leading, like everything in life, it dies.
One last question. How would you describe the beauty of classic racing?
First and foremost, there is a certain passion and emotion sailing on a boat which is 80 or 100 years old, where in your mind you are thinking about all of the other people in history, sometimes very famous people, who have sailed these boats. And so you are feeling very much part of history and the provenance of what is going on. Equally, these boats are requiring a huge amount of passion and money to maintain them as pieces of art. They are like a floating piece of art, like in a museum. And so it is very satisfying to be able to sail on a boat which has just had so much care and attention. Completely the opposite from a modern boat, which is made of plastic, which is made and designed for very easy maintenance, to just wash and walk away. That is not what happens with classic racing. This is very similar to classic cars. It's real passion and real attention. The last thing I would say is that these boats, of course, are incredibly sustainable because they are made of wood and everything to do with them is wood. If something needs to be repaired, a little piece can be taken out and a new piece of wood put back in. So the irony is that the boats from 80, 90 years ago are now actually the most environmental and sustainable type of boats to be floating, which is completely the opposite of modern boats today.
Do you think this is considered as an appeal for younger generations, the fact that the boats are, let's say, old style and totally sustainable?
I completely agree that this is helping with the access and the pathway for young children to be able to get access into sailing. And that is another purpose of the Vintage Classic Yacht Club. On our website we have the capability of people to join for 75 euros a year, which is a small amount, and for that money they get some little benefits and things like that. And so they are joining it. That gives them access to the database of the owners who are always looking for crew. And so this is an important part of classic yacht racing, where people feel, younger people and people wanting to join the sport, they feel they have a pathway to become involved. The same cannot always be said for all different types of sailing. For example, the America's Cup now is foiling everywhere. It's very, very expensive to do and potentially very fast and very, very dangerous. And so I am concerned for some parts of sailing that it's making itself too exclusive, that actually people lose interest. And it's exactly what happened with windsurfing and the sport of windsurfing. It became so technical, actually everybody said, no, I'm going to go and play football.
Can you remind us the website that you just quoted?
The website for the Vintage Classic Yacht Club is www.vintageclassicyachtclub.com. We are on Instagram and Facebook, and we are also creating an interactive experience about the whole fleet and about all of the boats on an app called Boyd, that's B-O-Y-D, which is the partner of the fleet, and I'm the CEO of Boyd. So we're working with lots of different luxury brands around the world. We have 36 luxury brands, creating all these fun, interactive experiences, and we are doing this also for the Vintage Classic Yacht Club.
Thank you so much, Chris, and fair winds.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to coming.
Good luck for the last day in Imperia.
Thank you very much. I'm hoping the waves will be a little less today. Thank you very much.
Thanks.